We're now joined by number 10 ranked UFC light heavyweight Misha Cirkunov, and we'll take our first set of questions from David Gonzalez with K-Type Press.
Hello, Misha. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So Misha, I know that the fight did have to get pushed back because of an injury. Just how are you feeling right now heading into the fight?
I feel great. Ready to go, healed up, no issues. I'm excited for Saturday night.
How did it help having those extra weeks to prepare for Jimmy Crute?
Um, sorry, say it again?
How did it help having the extra time? Because obviously you got a few more weeks to study and work with your coaches because the fight was moved back.
Yeah, it's in terms of like the skill set and all that, it's the same scenario. If anything, I just needed extra time just to feel 100%.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is your first time fighting since the no fans and everything, correct?
Yes, first time fighting on a quarantine, yeah.
I guess what has the experience been like with everything? Obviously, being quarantined in the hotel compared to normal fight week and everything.
You know, it's actually it's actually not bad. I thought it's gonna be worse, but we have really good accommodations. UFC provided us with like nice rooms. There's a kitchen, there's like fridge, so obviously it's not like home, but still, you can make your own meals. You can, it's pretty comfortable, and everything is pretty close. Like my training room is literally two doors down from my room where I stay, so it's very convenient for training. Like I don't have to actually even get out of this quarantine. Like I stay on the premises, and I just train here, and it's actually convenient. Like I don't mind it at all.
Have you thought about how you'll like the no fans, being able to hear your coaches and everything a little easier and everything?
Yes, sometimes when you have big crowds, sometimes you cannot hear your coaches at all, especially by the time we get to, main card, co-main event, all the fans are really wild, and it will be really hard to hear my coaches. And sometimes, the crowd is cheering you up, and sometimes, you might do certain things that normally you would not do. So I think overall it's gonna be good experience, and I think I'm gonna perform really well. And all the fans are still able to see the fight, on the TV. So it's kind of like everyone gets to enjoy the fight.
Thank you, Misha, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take our next questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Misha, I know it's been over a year since you fought. I know part of it was the injury last year, but also because of the quarantine, the pandemic, travel restrictions, things like that. Can you kind of give me a sense of like what this last year and a half has been like for you? Because I'm sure it's been out of your control. You didn't want to be sidelined this long.
Yeah, sometimes how they say you can't stress about things you can't control. So it was kind of that's what it was. But I was still watching fights. I was still training, doing whatever I could, and trying to learn new things. I would study more striking. I would study more uh, different like techniques for MMA, how to do like fit-ins after striking, and it was good. Like I was still, my mind was still occupied, and I was healing, and I knew the day will come, and here I am. The day is almost there. We're really close to the fight, and I'm very excited to be in a main on a main card as a co-main event. It's a great opportunity against a great competitor, and you guys will see a very complete two fighters that not just looking to stand and bang, but you will see the full-on MMA fight. At 205, there'll be everything. There'll be wrestling. There'll be striking, and I think it's going to be one of the more exciting fights at 205 that we've seen in a while.
Absolutely. It wasn't that long ago, Misha, you were seen as like a top prospect in this division, and now you're a top 10 ranked fighter. But there's been a lot of turnover at light heavyweight, in recent years. John Jones is no longer the champion. Jan Blachowicz is now at the top. We got a lot of middleweights coming in. kind of making waves here and there. I want to kind of get your lay of the land, what you think of light heavyweight, where we're at right now as you get ready to fight this co-main event on Saturday.
205 is one of those weight classes where kind of anything can happen. A lot of guys, they're athletic, they're fast, they're strong. Um, it's a very exciting division, and we've seen some of the toughest guys in the sport, like Daniel Cormier and John Jones. They competed at this weight class. Now we have a lot of newcomers. We have the new champion Jan Blakovic, and we still have like old veterans like Glover Teixeira. There's a lot of tough fighters, but sitting on a sideline and kind of like absorbing it all. I watched every single 205er fight, and yeah, I feel good about myself. I'm number 10 now, but who knows? Next couple of days that can change real quick.
You know the feeling when you come in, Misha, and you win a few fights in a row. Everyone thinks you're the next big thing. You're the greatest light heavyweight in the world. You lose one, and suddenly, oh well, it was all overrated. He's above. You know how this sport goes.
Yeah.
But do you take any inspiration from a guy like Jan Blachowicz, who came in? I think he was, I want to say, 2-4 in his UFC career, and I think he was worried about losing his job. And now, a couple years later, he's the champion of the world. He just, fought in one of the biggest fights of the year against Israel Adesanya. Can you take any inspiration from a guy like that and say that, listen, losing a fight isn't the end of the world?
100%. It's interesting that you bring this up because I watched a lot of Jan Blakovic's interviews, and I was kind of trying to get in his mind of thinking, and he said a lot of good things that kind of gave me more ideas and sparked up different kind of different outlook and different perspective on the fighting too. Jan Blakovic is a very smart guy. He's a very intelligent guy, and I enjoy listening to his interviews. And I absorbed a lot of his ideas, and I'm looking to implement them in my game as well.
Absolutely. And obviously that's a guy you would eventually like to compete against, but is it cool that you can look to somebody like Jan for inspiration in your own career?
100%. Even if one day we're gonna face each other and we're gonna try to beat each other, it doesn't mean anything. Like obviously, I'm gonna try to fight and I'm gonna try to kill, but at the same time, outside of the cage, I can have completely different mentality. I look at Jan Blakovic as a pace leader right now, and I look at him as inspiration of everything he's done. And I'm very, yeah, I'm just, if anything, I'm inspired with his story, and I think he's a great champion, and he's a great guy too. But having said that, if we face, um, it's gonna be a great fight as well.
Absolutely. Last one for me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you actually cornered against Ryan Spann in a fight not that long ago. And I'm curious what you took away from that experience and if that will help you at all, going into a fight like this, knowing what you saw, or at least having kind of like that bird's eye view.
Yeah, it was a good experience. Johnny Walker, he kind of messaged me. We did some training, and he asked me to corner, help him out. Me and Johnny, we actually talk whenever he's in Vegas. We try to like train together also. Yeah, it was a great experience. I had the front row seat, and I was watching how the fight went, and I kind of, again, once the fight starts, anything can happen, and it can be completely different from where you expect. However, I kind of seen what he does under the pressure, when Johnny was fighting him. So it was good to see. It was good to see. However, that experience doesn't mean anything. Now we have a completely different fight and different skill set, different everything. So it was good experience, but it's not gonna change the fight that much, I think.
Thank you, Misha.
Thank you.
We'll take our last set of questions from Gavin Porter with UFC.com.
Okay.
So, with such a long layoff, do you feel like you're more hungry to get here on Saturday than in a long time?
After a long layoff, if anything, I'm not. I'm obviously hungry. I want to compete. I'm a competitor. I competed my whole entire life since I was a kid. So of course I want to get back into it, get the ball rolling. I want to move up the rankings. I want to get paid. I want to fight, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here, and I'm excited to put on hard work, get things moving again.
Yeah, and I believe you said this is a big fight for both you and Ryan. So when you think about the light heavyweight division, excitement that's around now, how important for you is it to have a big time performance on Saturday?
Yes, it's very important. It's very important to have a good performance because Ryan Spann is a very competitive guy. He's very athletic. He has skills everywhere on the ground and stand up. And I believe that a stoppage against Ryan Spann will definitely put me on a radar on a world, like the whole world will be looking at this. So convincing win against Ryan Spann will definitely slingshot me to top 5 competition. That's against higher ranked guys. So that's what I'll be trying to do next.
My last question is: you mentioned session of meetings. You are the 205 matchups that we all the time. Mind breaking that down for me and letting me know why that is?
Yes, I believe that just my style, like I I come out aggressive. I throw kicks, I throw punches, but I'm also looking to take my opponent down. I'm looking to grind them. I'm looking to submit them. So I believe for 205, I have a really complete game. I'm athletic. I can fight everywhere. And Ryan Spann is kind of like the similar kind of fighter, That's why this fight is very interesting. It's not just going to be standing, being careful, and just trying to grind out the win. Both of us, we go at each other. We will go at each other, and we're going to try to finish the fight. Our styles, like Ryan Spann always tries to finish the fight. I always tries to finish the fight. That's why I think this particular 205 fight is going to be one of the better 205 fights that you've seen. Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Misha. Thank you.
Thank you so much.